Hi, I love horror. Do you? Welcome to Love Horror Podcast. Okay, on this episode, we're going to be talking about A Haunting. A Haunting is a TV series that's been going on since 2005. It's been around for a long time, off and on. It's a supposedly factual series which includes interviews with people who've had experiences with things like ghosts, demons, exorcisms, pretty much everything to do with ghosts. It has eyewitness testimonies, and then along with that, there is also these really dramatic reenactments or dramatizations. Now, I'd just like to start off by saying you need to really pay attention if you are watching this for more than just like a horror. If you're watching this, for the true sort of facts and stuff, you have to pay attention, because if you notice a lot of the time what people are saying and what the reenactment shows, the reenactments are always really dramatized, really over the top, and are not necessarily 100% accurate. So even if the person's story is believable, the reenactments might make it look like a load of rubbish because it's so over the top. But if you just bear that in mind, and take the reenactment parts with a pinch of salt and just enjoy the reenactments for the drama, for the kind of the almost horror movie element it has, because the reenactment, as far as entertainment goes, and as far as actual watching a horror movie type of thing goes, they're actually pretty well done, most of them. These stories mostly take place in residential homes, and these are just regular people. Unlike the celebrity one that's kind of similar, this one is just normal everyday people. Its distributor was Discovery, but one thing I'd like to point out is at the moment, I don't know if they'll carry on doing this, but for the last 4 months or so, they have actually had an official YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel I will link to in the description along with this podcast, but it has actually got full episodes for free, legal full episodes you can watch, and there's quite a few at the moment, plus a few in between a few full episodes are clips. So that's one of the reasons I decided to do an episode about this now, because it's being a TV series, it's not available on things like iTunes and that in all regions, such as here in the UK. Currently, there is no A Haunting on iTunes. But even here in the UK, so it doesn't seem to be locked to any region currently, you can actually watch A Haunting, quite a few full episodes on YouTube. So how many seasons has there been? There's actually been a total of 11 seasons so far. Like I say, it's been off and on. So the original run I can see was from 2002. There was a series in 2002, and then it started as a main sort of series, it looks like, in 2005. So its sort of original run was 2002, 2005, 2007. Then again since 2012 to 2019 so far. There may be more in the future, we don't know yet. So the original 4 seasons or so were on Discovery. Then season 5 to about 8 were on Destination America. And seasons 9 and up have been on TLC, and that of course applies more to America than the rest of the world. Currently, the last time it aired, so the latest season was season 11, and that was in July 2019. This is now September 2020, and there hasn't been another series yet, but of course the current pandemic could have delayed that, so fingers crossed there will be more. Now, even if you haven't heard of this series, you may have heard of the movies. Gold Circle Films created 2 feature-length movies based on the cases featured in A Haunting. So you have The Haunting in Connecticut, which was released in 2009, then The Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghosts of Georgia, released in 2013. Now, where you can buy that or watch it, of course, depends upon regions. So, for example, I'm in the UK, and you can purchase A Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghosts of Georgia on iTunes. But what I consider the main one, the original, A Ghost in Connecticut from 2009, is not available on iTunes in the UK currently. And neither is any of the TV series. So I'm very grateful for the YouTube channel allowing legal full episodes to be watched. I think that's amazing. So before we go any further, I'd just like to remind you, if you could please subscribe using your favourite podcast app, such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It will help out a lot. Okay, so A Haunting on Internet Movie Database has a score pretty good, actually, of 8.0, so 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is pretty good score, to be honest, and that's out of nearly 3,000 ratings. So it is very popular. They tend to have about 7 to 9 or 10 episodes. They're not really long seasons, but they are really good. Now, A Haunting in Connecticut, the first movie, was based on a very interesting case that there is a episode of on A Haunting before it was a movie. It is basically a tale about a so-called true story about a boy who was, I can't remember his age, but he's probably about 12, 13, I can't remember. But anyway, he had cancer and he was having to travel right across America basically for his treatment. And so they decided they had to do something. They had to find a place close to the hospital to rent. And after a lot of looking, they don't have much money. They found this huge, well, quite a decent sized place, you know, for absolutely nothing. It was really cheap. As a lot of these horror stories, these ghost stories go, there's always something wrong with that. But before they move in, they are not allowed to see the basement, which is highly suspicious. I think I would be very suspicious of that. Why is the basement blocked off? Why am I not allowed to see that? But you have to bear in mind, they were absolutely desperate. They couldn't find anywhere else. And basically, they didn't care. They basically would take what they could get at this point. So they move in, and finally, they discover in the basement a morgue. Yeah, the place had been a funeral home, and there's a full morgue down there. And, you know, everything was left there from the days of the morgue, operating table sort of thing. Everything. It was just everything was left there. And for some reason, and I just don't know why, the boy who had cancer insisted on sleeping down there. Maybe he just felt a bit kind of morbid or whatever, you know, because of the situation he's in. I don't know, but he insisted on going down there. And as you can imagine, all hell breaks loose with, you know, ghosts and stuff, which isn't surprising, you know, when you consider the fact that it's an old morgue. Plus you bring in this element of a person who is literally dying. It's a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. But anyway, I'm not going to go into every single detail, but basically, that is one of my favourite stories of A Haunting, and the movie's good, quite good as well. Again, overly dramatised, the movie at least, you know, but still worth watching. Now, anyway, the channel on YouTube, I will put a link in the description as long as your app that you use for podcasts will let you see descriptions, etc. But funnily enough, it is hard to find sometimes. Sometimes when you search A Haunting, it'll come up with that particular channel straight away with like a black icon saying A Haunting in white writing, which at the time has just over 25,000 subscribers is all. It isn't a very old channel, bearing in mind. To be honest, I think it should have a lot more, but that's probably because it isn't that well known. I don't see a link to this channel on their official website or anything. So it's not really something that's publicised. So you may have trouble finding it if you just search on YouTube. Sometimes it comes up straight away. Sometimes you can look in results and none of their official videos nor this channel seems to show up. I don't know what that's about, but I will make sure 100% I share this in the description for you. They claim that there'll be a full episode every Saturday, which is really, really good. They also, on their channel, has a link to a couple of their other shows by the same company, at least one of which you probably have heard of, the FBI Files. And there's also the New Detectives, which I've never seen, but the FBI Files is pretty good. I will put a link in the description to this to make absolutely sure you can find it. And I do recommend that if you do like it, you subscribe. So yeah, this is a pretty short episode. I just wanted to pretty much let you know about the 3 episodes in case you hadn't discovered the official A Haunting YouTube channel with 3 episodes, which from the number of subscribers they got, you probably haven't. And also I just thought I'd tell you a bit about A Haunting in case you haven't heard of it before, because it's a show I've watched for years, since probably around the time it first started. And I always really, really liked A Haunting. So, in a way, I'm surprised I haven't mentioned this series before. Yeah, so basically, if you could just check the description for that link, there will also be some other links, probably in the description, I have to say, but such as to Audible. I have a affiliate link for Audible, so if you want to sign up to Audible, which does have things like paranormal books as well as horror books, things like that, if you sign up, please use my link. It'll help me out. Or if you could, at the very least, please just subscribe to Love Horror Podcast. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.